Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello, hello. I am Gabriella, and this is GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. Welcome to our next episode. And today, I am delighted to bring to you our guest, Michelle Ricketts. Hey, Michelle, how are you today?
Hi, Gab. Great to see you. So thrilled to be here with you.
Yeah, for sure. So I met Michelle a while ago and we were talking, and she was very impressive. She has such an interesting background. So I invited her to join us today. Michelle, will you tell our audience what it is that you are an expert in?
Well, thank you so much for asking. I appreciate that. It's interesting with business owners, they tend to want to do everything themselves. And I guide them to be able to have everything not reliant on them so that then they can do the things they love, do what excites them, take care of themselves, spend time with family, and really, I like to say, do the happy dance. So that's having them not be chief cook and bottle washer handling everything. They're delegating and moving things off to others. That's really what makes sense in their business.
That is an area that you, my friend, are an excellent genius in. So will you please share with our audience what it is in your background and your history that got you to where you are today, that makes you the expert that you are?
Absolutely. Well, it's interesting because I actually have 35 years in the corporate world. A lot of times entrepreneurs kind of poo-poo the corporate world, but I really noticed there were things that entrepreneurs didn't know or didn't get access to when I did an event series for entrepreneurs. And then I had been downsized, restructured 3 times in my career. And when that happened for the third time, I looked at it, I said, I really want to do more with entrepreneurs. I want to be able to guide them to have that information, to utilize it in their business, to have more success. And so that really was the catalyst of me moving into entrepreneurship full time after having a side hustle, an event business from the 90s, actually. So that really was where I started. And I use a program from a local company. Wardell International has been guiding entrepreneurs for over 20 years. And I use their program, I use their booklets, etc. It allowed me to get up and running really quickly and develop my business.
Awesome. So when we talk to people who are experts, whatever it is that they're an expert in, often, actually always, there is something, someone that inspired them or had an influence on them that led them down the path to where they are today. You and I were talking beforehand, and I was very fascinated with who you were telling me was your inspiration. Will you share that with our audience, please?
Absolutely. Well, it actually goes way back. And for a lot of business owners, their inspiration is another business owner. Mine was actually my high school coach, Cecilia Carter Smith. She's a former Olympian, a strong woman, much like my mother was. And she really guided me in the early years in high school and from there forward to stay connected with her for some time and really sort of see how she did things. Really strong-willed, but really also being able to connect with others and teach people how to do things. And she really was an influence on me from that time.
Wow. Well, what's interesting is my next question is asking about what would you say, one piece of advice, if you were able to go back to and talk to that younger self that you were just speaking about. Or we have some folks that are part of our audience that are younger and just starting out and could use a little bit of guidance that can, maybe they can make a little shift that will propel them towards success that much faster. So what does that one piece of advice look like from you?
And that's a great question. And I'll maybe slide 2 of them in there. The first thing I would say is before you get into your career, start your business, travel, enjoy life, because you spend a lot of time working, right? But a couple of key things for younger people is to look at experience. And as much as most of them want to, become an influencer, start their business, make $1 million, that's not realistic for everybody. So for all the others, one of the things I would say to them is get into the corporate world, learn some skills. You don't have to, nobody stays in a job for 40 years anymore, right? Nobody does. But right. So what they need to do is spend a couple of years in some different areas, different industries, and learn some skills. I'm not talking about trades necessarily, but learn things like presenting, sales, talking to people, guiding a room. Those are all skills that you learn in the corporate world. They don't have to be there forever, just for a short time, but it's amazing what they'll take from that and then be able to utilize in their business and whatever else they do in life.
Yeah, that's really interesting because those are what people call soft skills, or in the family of soft skills. And a lot of people don't really get that. We learn that in high school, but we're like in this place where we feel like we're being pushed versus something that we are wanting. And so we don't really take those super critical soft skills with us out into the world. So working with you, you help guide entrepreneurs with those soft skills amongst the other things that you consult and teach them. That's awesome. Hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and take a moment to thank our sponsors. It is because of their generous support that we are able to bring to you all of these amazing experts, where we're able to interview them and get their best success tips for you. So please take a listen to what our sponsors have to say.
This is Tony Stark Polici, copywriter, marketing consultant, and author. And I have a question for you. If you could take $20 and turn it into 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or 100,000, would you do it? Well, you can. And it's not through gambling. It's not investing in the stock market. It's by buying this book. That's right, my book. This was voted number 9 out of the top 100 best copywriting books ever written. And I wrote it for you, for business owners, to help you write better emails, better sales copy, better advertisement, to communicate better in all of your marketing and business communications. This book will change your business and your life. Try it. You're going to love it.
You've all heard, and you know how powerful it is to send thank you cards, notes of appreciation, and gifts that build and maintain relationships. However, writing and sending generic impersonal greetings and gifts one by one just is so overwhelming and takes so much time. Not to mention, these days, who wants to deal with lines at the post office, running out of stamps, or having to print stamps yourself? And then there's the embarrassment of missing an important date altogether. Yikes. So what can you do? If you go to marketyourbiz.guru, you will be able to get help with your greetings and gifts that are printed, stamped, stuffed, and mailed automatically for you. Make sure that you tell them Gabriella sent you. So I'm going to open up the floor and ask you to share just a number of success tips that you think that our listeners can benefit from. And I know that once they hear these, they are absolutely going to want to reach out to you. So feel free to just jump on in and give us some tips from Michelle.
Absolutely. Well, one of the key things that I would say, and this is for life in general, but really for business owners, is delegate and eliminate. And a lot of people, as I talked about before, we said people like to do things themselves, and you should do the piece that is your expertise, not everything else. And 2 key areas I talk to people about first is legal and accounting. Now, if you're not a lawyer, there's nothing about legal that you should be doing. Documents and things that need to be signed, get them looked at by a lawyer. So that's the first one. But second is accounting. And yes, you can do your taxes yourself, but why should you? So those are a couple of things, but that's the first tip: delegate and eliminate. And the eliminate part is if you shouldn't be doing it, if nobody should be doing it, get rid of it. So that's the first one. The second is to systemize and document. To be able to have what you do in your business understood by someone else, you need to document it. But it also needs to be not in their heads. A lot of what business owners do, and especially entrepreneurs, it's yes, absolutely. It's
That's
in
what
their
I
heads.
did in my last business.
I'm sure when, things kind of went and we got into our crisis that we were all dealing with, A lot of business owners realized, oh my God, what does Joe do? I don't know. Do you know what is Joe? Because it was in Joe's head and nobody had actually taken the time to write it down, whether electronically or physically. So it's Systemize. That's knowing what you do, bringing your product or service from creation to client. Systemize that, write it down, document it. So that's number 2. The third one is transparency, having transparency in their business. It's not about keeping secrets and nobody knows what's going on. Others cannot help you in your business, whether it's staff, contractors, partners, or even sometimes clients. People can't help you in your business if you don't share. And that's where the transparency comes in. Everybody wants to be able to help for the most part. And part of that is helping you to bring your business forward. So everyone is moving in, I like to say, rowing the boat in the same direction. And if they don't have the information and the transparency of what's going on, things shouldn't be a surprise. If somebody leaves or somebody's not happy or somebody gets a win, it shouldn't be a surprise. Everybody should have been involved in that process along the way. There are things, of course, that you do need to keep closer to the chest or not announce necessarily right away. But for the most part, when you have transparency, then you're going to have a culture of your business that people love. They love being there. They want to help. They're truly engaged in what's going on with the company. So those would be my 3. Delegate, eliminate, systemize, and document, and have transparency.
Yeah, gosh, I wish I had met you back in 2016. I started my first business. I'd always done side hustles and I started my first business. And what I say is I threw the spaghetti at the wall and it worked. And I spent the next 4 years catching up to where I was. And about 2 years in, I realized that the only way I could delegate work was for them to hear me speaking to the client and then take it from there. And so we started this whole process of documenting onboarding clients and all of that. And I'm telling you guys who are business owners out there, entrepreneurs, you gotta put at minimum things in bullet point format so that someone else can actually kind of step in. Better would be to have much better systems in place. And then you said something really interesting and I couldn't help but think, years ago, I had heard somebody say something, and this isn't exactly the same, but it falls into that transparency category. If you make yourself so valuable that you are unreplaceable, that also makes you not promotable. And so if you don't let other people in on what you're doing, they will never be able to promote you to a higher position if you're working for other people. And you yourself will not be able to evolve and grow to the point where you are not like completely inside your business. Who doesn't want to be able to go on vacation for 3 weeks and know that their business is on autopilot, right?
Absolutely. Yes. So
totally
true.
reminded me of that.
That's
yeah,
a good statement.
I love having conversations with you. And, you've given me some valuable information and insight in the time that we've known each other. And I think our audience could really benefit from that insight for themselves. So will you please let us know where we can find out more information about you to reach out to you?
Absolutely. Well, the best place to reach me is on LinkedIn. It's just Michelle Ricketts on LinkedIn. And that really is the easy. Reach out to me, message me, happy to chat and help where I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And the link will be in the notes and the description below. And also, I believe you have a digital business card. We will make sure to get the link to that in the show notes and in the description. And before we started the interview, you did say that you have 2 offers for our listeners today. So will you share what those are?
Absolutely. We've got some giveaways. And first of all, I'll share our business strength test. And what that will show them is really 6 key areas of business it breaks down and lets them see where they are and where their gaps might be. And I'll even do a consultation with that once I see the results, share them with them so they can see the areas that they want to focus on. And the second one is from my brother's business, Digital Samurai. He's giving you a free background removal or a meme or graphic that you can use on social media. So we'll have the links to those as well. And as a bonus, my Linktree has some tools and tips that your audience can use in their business.
Awesome. All right, you guys, make sure you check out the show notes in the description below and reach out to Michelle. You will be really grateful that you did. Don't forget to click subscribe and click the reminder so that you get notified when our next episode is coming out. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.